of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Point 91. This time, are there any amendments to the Service Authority agenda?
No, sir.
Thank you. This time, I'll open up public comment. This is for the Service Authority Board of Directors. Anyone wishing to address this board, please come forward at this time. And please limit your remarks to 3 minutes in order to afford everyone an opportunity to speak. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the members of the board. Mr. Sisson, Mr. Howard, Ms. Bravo,
No report.
Ms. Brooks, and the chair has no report. Entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Chair, I'll move to approve the consent agenda as been presented.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carries. County Attorney, any report?
No report at this time, Mr. Chairman.
General Manager, we have an action item. Would you like to introduce that?
How's that? Action item this evening is a resolution to adopt a member agreement to join the Virginia Association of Counties Group Self-Insurance Pool. King George County Service Authority has requested that VACORP provide a separate insurance policy to recognize the Service Authority as a separate political entity from the county. The Service Authority is currently on the same policy with the county. The adoption and approval of these documents will allow the Service Authority to get the final quotes on the policy for the next fiscal year. A copy of the resolution and the membership agreement are attached. These documents have been reviewed and approved as performed by the county attorney.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to request that the board allow this matter to be tabled until the next meeting. I request more time to get some questions answered and meet with Mr. Thomason, the county administrator, to discuss those questions before we take action.
You indicated you had specific questions. Do we have them tonight?
No, I have questions. I talked to Mr. Thomas earlier today. I really would like the opportunity to be able to sit down with him and the county administrator. If you could just table this until the next meeting, I'd appreciate it. I would feel that I have done my due diligence.
Let's see. He made it on Friday, so.
Chairman, I make a motion to table.
We have a motion to table.
I had a question about the,
If we can get it.
well, I'll second the motion.
Okay, now discussion.
I just had a question. I have no problem with tabling it as long as it has no impact on what Chris needs to do with the operations.
So this item is a result of the annual updated insurance policy, both for the county and for the Service Authority. Representatives from VACORP have mentioned this year and also in the past for the Service Authority to consider their own separate policies.
Correct, but is it going to make a difference whether we take action tonight or on the 18th?
The one thing I would like to say is the VRA, the loan agencies, they're going to require the Service Authority to have their own policy. There is a DEQ loan set for closing here soon. So I don't know if 2 weeks is going to matter, but they are going to require our own policy.
And this just allows you to go get a quote, but still have to approve the policy.
Correct.
So there's no harm in moving it forward tonight. There's still an opportunity for you to get your questions asked at the time of the policy adoption. If there were issues, you could bring them forward at that time.
Okay, so I did not understand this to be just permission to get a quote. So you're saying this resolution tonight is just for him to go seek a quote?
Yeah, yes.
Because it says to sign and execute the agreement.
Right, and that's to ask to become a member, what would it cost?
That says to execute the agreement, to sign and execute. That is literally just to get it voted.
City County Attorney.
Resolution authorizing the manager to enter a service agreement with Bayside.
Okay, thank you. Must be me.
I guess I was still unclear, Mr. Chairman, on what the impact would be, if there is an impact to you.
I really couldn't tell you what the impact would be, but in 2 weeks, we have to work with VRS and bond to close on the dollar credit borrowing.
So you're saying that there could be negative impact if we don't take action on this, is what you're saying?
They're very lucky.
If it could be negative impact, I would draw my motion.
Well, at this point, we'll vote on the motion. We have not voted on it yet. We have a second. I think, I've read it. I'm okay with it. It's another step towards this independence of this organization. Also dealing with a known entity where we get this insurance from. So what's the board's pleasure? I'll call for a motion at this time to not table. All those in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Nay.
Opposed? Nay. Motion fails. I entertain a motion to adopt the member agreement to join the Virginia Association of Counties. So move self-insurance.
Second.
Motion been made, probably seconded. Any discussion?
I was just saying, we've had really good experience with these programs in the past. I think it's proven to be, that relationship's proven to be beneficial to the county.
My questions don't pertain to the organization that we will be dealing with, so.
Any other discussion?
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I was holding up on this would jeopardize anything that the county's risk, that's the reason why I think I need to go ahead and hold on it tonight.
Yeah, I think the problem is we do have financial dealings going on, especially with the Dahlgren system, and those have been going on for a while, so we expect to bring that to closure and wouldn't want that to hold up closure of that one. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I will abstain.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. General Manager report.
Yes, General Manager's report this evening just has one item. Just want to let the board be aware that DEQ has contacted the Service Authority to schedule a workshop locally here in King George for the groundwater management expansion and the actual Groundwater Management Act. So I have agreed and I set up a workshop for March 5th, 2014. That's from 1 o'clock p.m. to 5 p.m. and it's scheduled in the board.
That's an important session. It has other implications as we're addressing some of the issues in the board meeting. So that's, we may have them come back at some point in time for a presentation as well, but we'll advertise that and make sure we see that as a potential meeting as well. So look at your calendars, and so at the next meeting we can find out if we're going to have enough people to be there to adjourn to that meeting. And that's at 1300 on the 5th of March.
Yes, sir. And it's actually a DEQ meeting.
Right.
They just needed a place locally.
No, but from a policy and Freedom of Information Act, if we have 3 members there, we need to declare a meeting, and we'll do that at our next meeting, so everybody come prepared to see if we can go. Anything else? Chris?
No, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other action for the board?
I move we adjourn.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carries. This time, Call to order the Wireless Authority Board of Directors. Any amendments to the agenda?
No, sir.
This time I'll open the floor for public comment for the Wireless Authority. Any citizen wishing to speak, please limit your comments to 3 minutes per person to afford everyone an opportunity to speak. Seeing none, go back for reports of members of the board. Any board have a report?
Very briefly, you did ask me to take the draft charter to the Citizen Internet Committee. Overall, they didn't really have any feedback other than under the meetings. It simply states that they shall be called as necessary. Maybe better wording under that category would be something like a schedule for the year shall be determined at the first meeting. And then obviously we need to still fill in how many supervisors and how many appointees will actually be on the committee. But otherwise, overall,
That's a county action, not a wireless.
I understand that, but I put it under the
That's fine.
wireless.
No problem. I just, for the record, it really pertains to the county government, not to the wireless authority, since it's a broader committee, but those are excellent inputs. I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Chair, I move to approve consent.
Motion's been made, probably seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries. Report from county attorney.
No report this time, Mr. Chairman.
Manager's report.
No report.
Any other business coming before the wireless authority?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made and probably seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries. Okay, at this time, I'm going to call the meeting of the King George Board of Supervisors to order. Any amendments to the agenda?
No, sir.
And before we jump in, just a brief overview so everybody knows how the meeting will flow tonight. I'm going to take public comment, and then we're going to bring presentations and reports. The purpose of these presentations and reports are as part of the information gathering this board is doing as it relates to fracking and how you address that going forward. So everybody here, we're glad you're here to hear the information. As we continue to develop and gather our information, we'll culminate in a town hall type event so we can have a little bit more interchange. Right now, this is the information gathering session, so that'll come after public comment, and then we'll proceed with the rest of our meeting. So at this time, I'm going to open the floor for public comment. I'm going to ask that everyone, again, please limit their comments to 3 minutes per person. And then if you're speaking related to any of the public hearing items, please address those at the time of that public hearing. Before I get to the floor, I have two groups that asked to be recognized for public comment tonight, and I don't think anyone will have a problem with that. Tonight we have DECA, who would like to make a report to the public in the comment period. DECA from King George High School.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for allowing us the time to speak with you tonight. We are here to advocate for DECA at King George High School by providing an update on this organization that you have supported so wonderfully in the past. DECA at KGHS is making it count in our school, community, and beyond. DECA, a career in technical education student professional organization, is made up of students in the marketing program at King George High School. Students run and lead this organization, which also includes alumni DECA members and professional business members, including many of you on the board. This year, we have 177 student members, 34 professional and alumni members, and 2 advisor members, making DECA at KGHS the largest organization on the KGHS campus. DECA, chartered in September 2001 at KJHS, began with 16 hardworking students who built the foundation for a strong, active, and involved DECA chapter. Beginning prior to the start of the school year, DECA officers and members planned through the summer what community service and public relation projects they would pursue and lead during the school year. Just this year so far, DECA has helped with teacher welcome and open house, painted a DECA alcove in the main hall, volunteered and helped with the King George Volunteer Day, Fall Festival, and Community Day, sponsored 3 families with children at both Thanksgiving and Christmas through King George Social Services with donations of food and gifts, collected and donated hats and gloves to the Thurman Brisbane Center, participated in the construction at Spotsylvania Town Center, donated over 160 cans of food to the Fredericksburg Food Bank, started a program called iPad for Peers, and collected money through a dodgeball tournament to purchase these iPads for the special needs classes at the county elementary schools, promoted not being distracted while driving with the Don't Become a Statistic campaign, and competed at the DECA District Leadership Conference with over 60 students in competitive events in December. Now we are making our final preparations to head to the DECA State Leadership Conference in Virginia Beach at the end of the month with 57 competitors, our largest delegation yet. We also have 1 student who will be interviewing for Virginia DECA scholarships and 1 student running for the state DECA office. Those DECA members winning finalist trophies at state conference will move on to the International Career Development Conference in Atlanta, Georgia in May. Our school board enterprise, Fox Stock School Store, earned gold recertification and has already secured these student spots for the trip to Atlanta.
Already on our calendar year for the coming weeks is hosting next week's Chamber of Commerce meeting, volunteering at the King George Home Builders Association Craft Fair, sponsoring a team for Relay for Life, sponsoring and volunteering for a Meet in the Middle with Special Olympics, participating in the Business Appreciation event, and ending our year with the Member Awards and Appreciation Dinner. Our mission states, DECA prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management. DECA prepares the next generation to be academically prepared, community-oriented, professionally responsible, and experienced leaders. The core values of DECA are competency, integrity, innovation, and teamwork. The purpose of DECA is to provide learning opportunities to marketing education students through goal-oriented chapter activities. The focus of these activities is always upon the students and developing greater understanding and appreciation of marketing, finance, hospitality, management, and entrepreneurship. These activities contribute to occupational competence by promoting greater understanding and appreciation of the responsibilities of citizenship in our private and free enterprise system. DECA activities provide members with opportunities to serve in leadership roles, work in teams, and receive local, state, and international recognition, along with local, state, and international scholarships to apply for. All year long, we are one busy group, and we make it count in King George, Virginia, and beyond. Thank you again for your continued support and this time allowing us to advocate for DECA at KGHS.
Thank you. And now, Troop 191.
Again, we are here today because our principles leave no trace and protection of the environment. So again, our senior patrol leader here with us. Again, we are celebrating on the 10th of February 113 years of Boy Scouting in the United States. And again, we have participated, we have talked here before, and we have assisted some of your activities, community activities, and we are open to help at any opportunity that we can afford. Anything else?
I personally have been to a couple of these events that you have sponsored and helped out, and You all really do help the community, and we would like to participate in that. Thank you.
Well, today we have, our troop is composed of 35 scouts. Again, we have 15 of them in attendance here today. Again, our points of contact are out there in the community. We are working with Parks and Rec in some activities and some improvements in the parks, and we'll continue to do so. So thank you for your time, and we are here at your service. Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, anyone else wishing to address the Board of Supervisors may do so.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dale Robertson. I live at 10268 Landfall Lane. And today I'd like to address the board considering obstacles in the path of efforts to provide broadband internet to unserved and underserved portions of the county. So the first obstacle has to do with zoning, specifically the erroneous designation of residential internet antennas and their support structure as telecommunications facilities. The county zoning ordinance defines telecommunications facilities as any structure used solely for the purpose of supporting an antenna or antennas. It goes on to define structures as just about anything, including monopoles. Monopoles are not further defined within the ordinance. The generally accepted definition of monopole is simply one pole. So they can range in length or height from hundreds of feet to microscopic. There are hundreds of antenna installations within the county that fall under this designation. The dominant examples of this are the many installations of satellite internet installed by Hughes, Blue Sky, DishNet, and many others. Nearly all of these installations are comprised of an antenna mounted on a pole whose sole purpose is to support the antenna. I've been unable to find a single instance of the county requiring a special use permit for the construction of these telecommunications facilities. As has been discussed by the board in previous meetings, installations designated as requiring special use permits incur a substantial permit fee, require the submission of numerous plans and documents to the Planning Commission, and after having jumped those hurdles must be considered by the full Board of Supervisors. This process can become quite costly, at least at a personal and small business level. The economics of standing up a profitable wireless ISP, even without these fees and hoops to jump through, are iffy at best. This process and its costs make the prospects of a commercial provider coming into King George very poor. Even without the fees and process, attracting a commercial provider to enter the county is a long shot. As bad as that is, the hardships imposed by this designation have only just begun. This designation also subjects any antennas that manage to get installed to the onerous requirements of zoning ordinance section 412, which applies to all telecommunications facilities, which is clearly oriented toward large towers constructed for cell phone service. Examples of clearly inappropriate requirements are the requirement to provide no-cost co-location to the county, including both tower space and shelter equipment space, security fencing, buffer landscaping, and a structural analysis of the tower prepared by a licensed professional engineer. Must be provided, and on. The requirements go on a lot. The county's been very inconsistent in its enforcement of these ordinances, even on large towers intended to be used by national, regional, wireless telephone carriers. An example of this is the county not enforcing the abandoned tower requirement set forth in 412 on the vacant tower at US 301. But the big problem with designating these internet devices and their supporting structures as telecommunications facilities with all the attendant requirements approval process is that all that is quite clearly in violation of federal law, specifically the fixed wireless provisions of OTIRE. Some may remember the original version of these regulations as intended to prohibit local and state governments from restricting, impeding, or delaying the installation of antennas for the purpose of receiving television service. This regulation was amended in 2000 to include fixed wireless. Because of confusion and varying interpretations, the FCC clarified the regulation to explicitly apply to devices used for connection to the internet. This regulation prohibits governments from requiring a permit before installation, requiring a fee, causing additional expense, or delaying the installation.
Can you wrap it up, Mr. Robinson?
I have a couple of areas. In addition, this regulation places the burden of proof the burden of proof is on the county to prove that you should be able to do that. And I guess how we fix it, I think we have to change the regulation to exempt these type of installations from the overarching telecommunications facility regulations. And I have any reasonable thing would be, you might restrict the diameter of the pole, the height of the tree canopy, or any number of things that would be very reasonable. The current environment is just, it's poison to anybody who might want to come in. So thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening. My name is Chris Smith. I'm at 6189 Hauser Drive. This is regarding the fracking issue. A couple of items of comments for consideration as we learn about pros and cons of fracking. And the first one is with reference to the U.S. Geological Publication Paper 1404-C, which is entitled Hydrogeologic Framework of the Virginia Coastal Plain. In looking through that, I note that in the geology of the coastal plain, which is sedimentary, as we all know, is unlike the hard rock geology of other areas where fracking has, a method of oil and gas drilling has occurred. The coastal plain, the northern neck, and in general, in areas from Maryland to North Carolina, is comprised of varying thicknesses of gravelly, sandy through clayey and silty strata. Confined aquifers are underlain by a confining set of impervious strata called confining layers. When fracturing explosions occur, the DMME, I think, needs to determine the risk of fracturing these confining layers as well, as a collateral damage, if you will, which could result in the leakage of aquifer water, thereby increasing the rate of lowering these potable and non-potable water tables due to the nature of our sediments. Also of concern is the potential of explosion shock waves to induce liquefaction, possibly consolidating in aquifer layers and reducing aquifer volume and yield. And the second topic is in reference to the Virginia Code 62.1-195.1, which is entitled "The Chesapeake Bay Drilling for Oil and Gas Prohibited." I'm suggesting that the State Attorney General's office needs to clarify the definition of the term tributary. The code states, in paragraph A, notwithstanding any other law, a person shall not drill for oil or gas in the waters of the Chesapeake Bay or any of its tributaries, which is the key word. In another part of Virginia code, a tributary is defined as the river basins draining to the Chesapeake Bay. Now, river basin is typically synonymous with watershed. If it's so defined, all lands then between the Potomac and Rappahannock rivers lie within a watershed. Everything does. As an example, the Rappahannock Potomac then would therefore be deemed unavailable for oil and gas drilling. Thanks for making the comment.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. We hopefully applaud. Really, we'd just like to get everybody's comments, so thank you. We respect your input, but we don't need the applause.